If you're new here, my name is Ro. I'm a narcissistic abuse survivor and I'm a certified life coach. And I'm here to help you heal from narcissistic abuse. I really wanted to talk today about how we could have fallen for these types of people. And I'm specifically talking from the space of relationships because I was in a narcissistic relationship in a marriage, and that abuse was my sort of training on how I got to where I am to know what I know. Like, we're forced to learn about narcissistic abuse. We're forced to learn about it. So we become educated. And that shit sucks for the narcissist. Straight out of Utah, crazy non-Mormon named Luna stepping into comment and music. I love it. I love it. Welcome, guys. Welcome. I'm so happy you guys are here. I can't really see comments. Everything's really slow on my end. I'm not sure if it's my service or whatnot. I don't even know how many people are in here, honestly. But I never joined a live. Hi, Fatima. Welcome. Welcome. If you're just popping in and you're new, my name is Ro. I'm here to help you heal from narcissistic abuse. There is an upcoming webinar coming up called How Could I Have Fallen for a Dangerous Man? Sandra L. Brown. She is the author of two amazing books that you can find on Amazon. One is called Women Who Love Psychopaths and How to Spot a Dangerous Man Before You Get Involved with Them, before you go with them. So learning how and what part of us makes us susceptible to a person like this, to an abusive person, to someone who's dangerous. And when we talk about danger, we're talking about our emotional danger, right? Our emotional safety is at risk when we're with narcissists, psychopaths, sociopaths. You officially got your divorce 2 weeks ago and getting hit with some serious CPTSD. Congratulations on the divorce. CPTSD, we can help you with that. I also am diagnosed with complex post-traumatic stress disorder. That's what CPTSD stands for. If you're suffering from this is something that is normal. It doesn't feel great, but it's typical. It's typical from the abuse that we endured because it's long-term. Your divorce was final on July 14th. Well, congratulations. Freedom snaps to you. Freedom snaps to you. It's really difficult to heal from narcissistic abuse. And yes, give Healing with Ghani some congratulatory snaps. Show her some love because this is not an easy stretch, or this is not an easy journey, but it is a journey that you are on right now. And I'm so very proud of you. I'll always want you in my life, but not in the expense of your sanity. An insult. Is saying that an insult? I don't think so. I mean, everything in context, right? Everything in context. I feel so healed, and then boom, out of nowhere, crazy triggers. Yeah, this just is like grief. Grief can show up out of nowhere, honestly. Hey, beautiful, what's up? And thank you for the follow. Ship it to daddy? Thanks for the follow. Grief is like... Okay, so there's this analogy that I learned in therapy. If you were to take a box, okay, let's say this is the box. Here's this phone right here. My phone is a box, okay? And at the very top of this box is a grief button. Every time that button gets pressed, you feel grief. You feel it. Now, when something huge happens, and a big event happens, let's say a divorce, this big balloon gets inside this box and it's huge. And the balloon floats in the little box and, it hits that button and it hurts. And it hits it again and it hurts. But over time, the balloon gets smaller and all the air gets let out of the balloon. The balloon never goes away. The divorce never went away. But over time, that balloon is still floating around, even though it has less air, even though it's a pin, it floats all around. But one day, even like 14 years later, you could just be like driving in traffic and you remember something or something triggers you and boom, it'll hit that button because it does eventually travel up to that button. and it'll hit you like the very first day you separated from the narcissist. Grief doesn't go away. It is fewer and far between, and there's more space around it, but it doesn't go away. And so yes, it can sometimes hit you like that. It's a roller coaster of love, guys. It's a roller coaster. If you want these shirts, guys, I have merch. You can just go to the link in my bio and find it. If you want to rep the roller coaster stuff. He owes me alimony and avoids court hearings and etc., purposely evading. What do you do? You know, that is a coaching session. I would suggest booking with me, because there's a lot of times where, you know, narcissists will do whatever they can to control you. And having specific gray rocking techniques, or techniques where you can take your emotions and bring them down and regulate. We have access to regulate our own emotions. They do not. And you can diffuse situations like this when they're purposely evading, when they're doing things to control you, to make you spiral, to make you feel like you are, you know, being violated. Your space is being violated. You can't make decisions for yourself because they're just intimidating you. There's ways that we can work on ourselves to be able to combat that type of abuse, because that is still abuse. Rollercoaster of Love was just telling my mom about this. Yes, that's me. Oh, Kayla, my new friend. Hi, how's it going? His mother constantly reached out to me, checking on me, but I blocked her. Is she a narcissist too? I mean, she could be. That again, that's a coaching session. Also, one thing I want you to remember is, when you are dealing with narcissists, you know, you're dealing with toxic people. You may never get a diagnosis. Right? So if you identify them as an abusive person, even just as an asshole, that is a little bit more healing for us than to say if they're a narcissist or not. Because having that label and saying, for sure, you know it's a narcissist, what does that do for you? It does nothing. You work in lots? Awesome. Hello. Hey, Ro. What's up, Jess? Hey, Ro, how do you stop them from portraying victims as mental and liar in family court? Claudia, I would book a coaching session with me. Yeah, you can't stop them from doing anything. So true. So true, Chris. There's nothing we can do to control anybody. We can control what they do, right? Serenity prayer. Who knows the serenity prayer? Hands up if you know it. What is that? Hands up if you know the serenity prayer. I don't know if you can fit it all in a comment, but do your best. And if whoever gets it first, I'm going to follow you back. If I don't already follow you. Yes, we can control our actions, but not someone else's. Exactly. Right? Right? God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, to have the courage to change the things I can, and to have the wisdom to know the difference. Chris Cassie, I already follow you. And my live is super slow right now. I don't know if I'm lagging at all, but I can't I don't have access to like pull people's names up. I don't even know how many people are in my live right now. I can't see it. I can see your comments, so that's okay. But we cannot change the things we cannot change. We have to accept it. We have to accept it, right? So, 40, okay, thank you. I have no idea. I guess it's kind of nice not knowing. I can't see the number, so it's kind of sweet. TikTok is on fire today because of the battles. Oh yeah, I don't battle. So I don't know what, I'm not a battler. So, you won't catch me battling. I can't tell who's moderating. I know that Jess is a moderator. I think Chris Cassie, I think you're a moderator, but I can't even pull up your name. I don't see the numbers up here. I don't see the GIFs. I see the comments. I guess that's all that matters. And I'm just having a little coffee break and waiting for my kids to get off school so I can pick them up. But to answer the question, when we have specific narcissists in our lives that are doing crazy things and we wish they didn't do them, right? They're controlling us. They're trying to control us in all these different ways. They're fucking with our lives. They're fucking with our kids' lives. They don't care. It's abuse. All of that is abuse. And we have nothing. We have no way of controlling. We have no way of we can't do anything about it. We have to accept it. We already have snow. Yes. Have a good day, Kayla. Nice to see you. Okay, I'm going to pull the comments up so I can read them. There we go. Yeah, I'm in Alberta. I'm in Calgary, and there's a lot of snow here. I'm in Canada. I loved them so much. Now I'm a wreck. This is how they leave us. They leave us a wreck. They leave us a shell of a human being. They leave us less of ourselves. So when you first meet a narcissist, what'll happen is you will be usually, and this isn't a one size fits all kind of analogy, but you're usually at the top of your game. I call this the great exchange. You're usually at the top of your game. This is why a lot of narcissists seek you out. There's parts of you that they want. And it's almost like they want to be you sometimes. Like they're looking at you like, ooh, is this the type of person that I could be? Because they're literally trying on different personalities when they meet people. They meet people and they don't have a sense of personality, right? They have a personality disorder, meaning that they're lacking something. They're missing something. When a narcissist shows up in your life, they come to you with a deficit. They come to you with a void. And they expect you to fill it. So what they do is they find you and they try on your personality like clothing. Ooh, does this fit? It's a mask. They put it on. What's up, mermaid Batgirl in the house? Right? They'll copy you. They'll mirror you. They'll be like you. And over time, as they're idolizing you in this idealization stage where there's love bombing, mirroring, all of the like red flags that we talk about, they tell you that they're your soulmate, that they love you. They can't wait to get married. Let's have kids together. Let's move here. Let's move there. And they just create this future fake, this like beautiful life. And you fall for it. You start to question yourself the minute they start to devalue you. Because you were put up on this top pedestal for so long that when they start knocking you off the pedestal they built for you, you are now feeling really inadequate and insecure. Like, what did I do wrong? How did I mess this up? How can I go back to this person that he loved so much or she loved so much? How do I go back to that? And we question ourselves. And in survival mode, while we're in fight or flight, fawn or freeze, when we don't know what to do with the trauma response, we start to mirror parts of the narcissist. We start to look at them and go, okay, well, if they're allowed to do this, I'm going to do it too. So you might get anxious. You might rage. You might get angry. You might have reactive abuse episodes where they poke and prod you and pick at you. And when they start insulting you when you're relaxed and you have nothing to do, you have no other way to resort to stop this interaction, but you scream back. That's a reactive abuse. You find yourself becoming like them. By the end of this relationship, what happens with this great exchange is as they start rising up, you start declining. By the end of my relationship, by the way, I was feeling depressed, anxious, a shell of a human being. I wasn't myself, and I didn't feel like me. I felt like him. We have this decline as they start to increase, right? They start to come up. They start to rise up because they've sucked all the energy out of you. They've sucked it out of you like a vampire. So what we have to understand is that in this place that they're in, this is manufactured. It's fake. It's not real. They've sucked it out of you. Just like they tried on your personality, right? They've actually taken... They're life drainers. I call them emotional vampires. And they'll do this. Exactly. I thought I became an empty shell because they're an empty shell, right? They're the empty shell and you become it. At the beginning, do you like my hair today? At the beginning of the relationship with a narcissist, you are the person who they want to be. and they start mirroring you because they love all your beautiful qualities. You're not with a narcissist because of your weakness, because there's something about you that's codependent, because you're addicted to trauma, you're addicted to drama, and you are destined for bad. No, that's not why a narcissist picked you. A narcissist picked you because you're a beautiful, amazing human being. Hey, boo! What's going on, girl? Nice to see you. I'm loving all your makeup stuff. Your Halloween makeup. Oh, thank you for the subscription, Erica. I really appreciate you. Is this snow? Yes, it is snow. We do have snow here today. I don't know how to get the courage to leave my relationship. I've got 2 children with him. Book a coaching session with me, dear. I haven't seen you in ages. I know, it's been a really long time. You're so welcome. Right? So what we have to do is we have to remember that when we're with narcissists, they pick us because of how amazing we are. They pick us because of how our qualities and our behaviors and our attributes and all the things that are good about us, they want it. They want that. Remember at the beginning I said they try on your personality to see if it fits, to see how it is? This is why they become like you. They mirror you to gain your trust, but also because they don't have a personality of their own. So they're copying you. Study. Watch what happens when you are with a narcissist at the very beginning. Watch what happens. If you have somebody in your life that you're just meeting and you're just talking to, and they start to do this weird fucked up thing where they're like copying your mannerisms, and they're always like in the exact same space as you emotionally, they have the same traumas as you, they're talking about the same type of childhood, even to like the same food, the same music, the same TV shows, their favorite color, like everything is the same because they're wanting to be like you. And at the beginning of a relationship, when they start mirroring you, what happens near the end of the relationship is you start mirroring them. This is why a lot of survivors say that they don't recognize themselves anymore. They have no idea who they are. Right? They can't not see us happy. Yeah, exactly. The first day we spoke, he said I was so genuine and thought it was a compliment. But he was really mirroring me. Didn't even know me yet. Exactly. How do they know that you're genuine when they haven't gotten to know you? Yeah. You start mirroring their behaviors. And this is why they abuse you. This is why they abuse you. The reason why a narcissist abuses you is because they hate themselves. They're abusing themselves through you. They abuse themselves through you. Why? Because when you start mirroring the narcissist and you start becoming like them, they see themselves. And they fucking hate themselves. This is why they call you names. The narcissist in my life just last month called me a loser in the street. I'm part of a really amazing group called the Narc Avengers, and we're doing a meet and greet in Toronto. So if you do want to join and meet me in Toronto, I'm doing a meet and greet on November 19th at the Drake Hotel in Toronto, downtown Toronto, Canada. I will be there on the 19th doing a meet and greet and a Q&A. You can find tickets on narcavengers.com or the link in my bio. But my ex said to me, Narc Avengers, huh? You fucking loser. What a loser. And he's yelling at me in the street when he found out that I was part of this group. Turns out 2 weeks later, and I hear this from the nanny, that he's sitting at home calling himself a loser. I'm such a loser. I'm such a loser in a basement suite. Yes, because you think you're a loser, so you have to call me a loser. What people say to you, right? The word loser is a huge trigger. If anybody ever calls you an insulting name, I don't even talk about narcissists, anybody. If they call you a name, if they call you a loser, if they call you a cheater, if they call you all sorts of things, it's because that's what they believe about themselves. It's projection, exactly. Super jealous. Jealous of the fact that I'm doing something out of all this pain he's caused me, and I'm doing good. He hates that. And another aspect of it is I'm not talking about him anymore really in my content. I used to have all these stories. I have a lot of stories. And I used to share stories about him in my content. And I'm sure he watches it. Now I don't. I talk about narcissism in general. I talk about it from the aspect of healing. And he probably hates the fact that I'm not talking about him anymore. He called me a bitch constantly because he is a little bitch, probably. Right? He wants to insult you because that's how he feels about himself. Whatever he thinks that word comes from, whatever he thinks that B word comes from, where you're inadequate or you're like a little scaredy cat or you don't have the ability, you're so insecure, whatever those words to him mean, when he calls you that, he actually thinks about that of himself. And this is why a narcissist abuses us, because they hate themselves so much. They don't know how to feel their feelings, identify their feelings, feel their feelings, and regulate their emotions. So they take an emotional thought about themselves or whatever it is, and they place it onto you. They hate themselves. I told my wife, who's a narcissist, that I might have cancer. She told me nobody cares. Talk to him. Oh, that's so mean. I'm sorry that they say the most heinous, meanest things, don't they? How long did it take for you to get over thinking about them? So there's a really beautiful place called indifference. And this is the place that we get to go when we no longer care about the narcissist. How long does it take? It really depends on your healing. Oh, it's Coach SJ's in the house, guys. Go follow my friend SJ. She is part of the Narc Avengers as well. And, the community that we've built is amazing. And I think that a lot of narcissists, especially, I will say for sure my ex, that sees that I'm part of a community, sees that I'm with people. You know, a lot of times these narcissists, they'll isolate you. They pull you away from your friends and family. They triangulate and start to do premeditated smear campaigns and start saying shit about you like you're crazy, that this happened, that happened, and lie about you so that your family and friends might actually distance themselves from you or act concerned, and then you feel like a crazy one, right? So building community and finding community, narcissists hate it. But going back to planet indifference, how do we get there? This is what indifference looks like for me. Guys, I've heard, I know I've said this before, so I know some of you have heard me say it, but you look at the narcissist and they're dead to you. They've literally died. Like up here. They mean nothing. You're not angry with them. You don't miss them. You don't think about them like that. They are the gas station attendant. They're the stranger at the bus stop. They're your third house down next door neighbor that you've never met. They are nobody to you. This planet indifference that we get to enter, this place that we get to be where the narcissist no longer has an effect on you emotionally, is a really beautiful place. How do we get there? I'm almost close from this planet, right? How do we get there? We have to really practice a lot of things. Healing from narcissistic abuse, in my opinion, takes 3 aspects, and we talk about this in my monthly group coaching session. If you're interested, November is open. You can go to the link in my bio and book it. Our monthly group coaching session, we do talk about community, and that's part of community. Really, these lives are part of community as well. If you subscribe to the live, and thank you, Erica, for subscribing. If you subscribe to the live, it tells me to go live more. So the more subscriptions I have, the more I go live, because I really do want to give back and be able to give some, no investment content to be able to share with you the knowledge that I've acquired over the last couple years about narcissistic abuse and how I cope with my healing. But the 3 ways that we heal from narcissistic abuse, 1 is community. Community is number 1. Find your people. Narcissists pull you away from everyone you love and care about. And also the type of abuse, the style of abuse they choose often leaves you really isolated because nobody understands what you went through. Try explaining that to someone who has a beautiful marriage. Try explaining gaslighting to someone who has a very attentive partner who understands them and Like, they just thrive together. Try to explain gaslighting to them. Try to explain that to somebody, right? You can't, because you have to find your people who understand what you've been through, because maybe they've been through it. Right? So community. I have a free Facebook group that you can go to the link in my bio and you can join. And the support group is really helpful for people who are just wanting to share parts of their life that they're healing from, or whoever the narcissist is. And it's a great community to meet people. The second thing I have is the group coaching, which I do every month. The next one that's coming up is November 27th. They do sell out every month. So, it's just a drop-in fee of $25, and you can just register for the ticket and join the group. And then there's also the Narc app. So narcapp.com is a community that has been created by Ben Taylor, Raw Motivations. He's a self-aware narcissist in this space. I've written a course on healthy dating after abuse, which helps you step out into the world and really just trust yourself again in dating. And that community is also a really great community to join. So community, that's number one. Number two, education and knowledge. Education and knowledge. What the fuck did you go through? How did this narcissist mess up your life? Why did you attract a narcissist to begin with? Not that you are responsible for the abuse, but yes, you are 100% responsible for learning why you got involved with someone like this. There is a webinar that's coming up. I urge you to get a ticket for it, because this is going to teach you what part of your personality got you trapped with a narcissist. I will be on a panel of other coaches and other people in this space. Carrie, who's a psychologist, Carrie McAvoy, PhD, who's also on TikTok. She is going to be interviewing Sandra L. Brown, who wrote the book Women Who Love Psychopaths and How to Spot a Dangerous Man Before You Become Involved with Them. She wrote those two books, and she also studied pathological love relationships and what types of personalities attract us to these types of psychopaths, sociopaths, and narcissists. This is on November 10th. And Brittany's in the house. Hello. If you want to learn what part of you attracted a narcissist or a dangerous person, because our emotional safety is what is at risk when we're with someone who's abusive like this. What part of you attracted them? Because once we learn and have the knowledge to know exactly why we got stuck with a person like this, we can protect ourselves for ever being stuck with a person like this again. This is not to say that you'll never meet another narcissist. They're literally everywhere. My narcissistic ex used to say to me, I'm never gonna love anyone like you again. You're never gonna find anyone like me again. We're meant to be together. Actually, no, bitch. I will find a guy like you in 2 seconds. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. They're on here too. They're on TikTok. They're on social media learning all the things, right? We might not be able to avoid a narcissist, and we have to accept that. What we can do is learn how to strengthen our radar and be able to spot them before we get stuck with them. Be able to spot one out and go, wait a minute, this part of my personality, this is why I attracted someone like this. Okay, now I can shift and adjust and be able to get to this place where I can be more discerning and trust myself. They pose as people who they're not. And the second we see it and spot it, the second we get one little inclination of, oh, wait a minute, you're not who you say you are. You're not really about me. You're a liar. You're a thief. You're a poser. You're a faker. You're a fraud. When you can figure that part out, you can ditch that person and have the cutthroat ability to cut them off. The webinar, by the way, is called How Could I Have Fallen for a Dangerous Man? I'm a panelist on this webinar, and I'm going to be helping with the other panelists interview Sandra L. Brown, the author of Women Who Love Psychopaths and How to Spot a Dangerous Man. And she will be answering all your questions. It is on November 10th. If you are going to the event, say got it, or here, or coming, or put your hand up. If you are not registered for the event, you can leave the live right now. Go to the link in my bio. It's the very top under what's new. Register for the event. It's $25. This is going to help you learn why you found a narcissist in your life. There's a book. Yes, it's called How to Spot a Dangerous Man. Her other book is called Women Who Love Psychopaths, where she studies pathological love relationships and what part about us. We don't have to take responsibility for being abused. Absolutely the fuck not. But we do have to take responsibility for healing from it. We do have to find out why we got stuck with people like this. How could I have fallen for a dangerous man? This webinar is on the 10th. Go to the link in my bio and get your ticket. You will not regret it. It's going to be something that you'll need to learn. And if you have kids, you'll want to teach them how to spot dangerous people. You don't want them to go through the shit you went through. And I know this is geared towards men because it's written by a woman. Sandra L. Brown is amazing in her studies, but she studies it from her point of view as well. Men can also attend this event. I hate the whole concept of responsibility. Yes, we are not responsible for our abuse. We are not responsible for our abuse. Yes, the webinars are amazing. I always pick up an evil, cruel guy who preys on hurting me. I'm going to find these books. Thank you. Yes, absolutely. Women Who Love Psychopaths and How to Spot a Dangerous Man. And the webinar is on November 10th. It is called How Could I Have Fallen for a Dangerous Man? The author of those books is going to be interviewed. She will be the guest in the webinar, and I'm going to help be a panelist and help interview. And yes, it will be recorded. You do have to purchase the ticket for the actual live event, and immediately after the event is over, you get a live recording of it to keep. So you can always refer back to it. This is a tool. Listen, we have training and self-defense courses available for if our physical body is in need for defense or protection. Because there are dangerous people out there who could attack us in an alley, especially women. Right? Do we take a self-defense course so that we can protect ourselves against someone who's trying to physically harm us? Yes, self-defense courses exist. What about self-defense course for our emotional safety? Do we take any courses like that? Is there has anyone ever told you like that you need to actually learn how to protect your emotion? How to protect your emotional defense, like your safety? Right? No, we don't. We have to learn what part of us why do we get involved with dangerous men or dangerous people? He ghosted us, no pun intended. I'm scared the narc will reach out. Jerica, what's up? Whoa, this is speaking to me, girl. I got you, girl. You're truly amazing. Love watching you live. You have opened my eyes to a lot of things. Oh, thank you so much. Hey, Kukla, what's up? Red flag courses should be as common. Yes, yes, yes. So we want to make sure that we're learning how to protect ourselves. Sandra L. Brown, thank you so much, Brittany. Have to get back to work? Well, thank you for coming in. I got about 10 more minutes left. I'm in a situation with a narcissist and he gaslights me all the time. Mom of 2 boys, I want you to know something. Gaslighting is to make you feel crazy. My next group coaching session is November 27th. The registration is already open on the link in my bio under register for November. And that is also $25. So if you do want to register for group coaching, that is on the link in my bio. So we have a lot of things coming up here, guys. We've got the group coaching session on November 27th. We've got how could I have fallen for a dangerous man live webinar with Sandra L. Brown on November 10th. And the really fun one, which is me in Toronto at the Drake Hotel at a meet and greet and Q&A on November 19th. So I'm really happy to be meeting some of you. We've got a lot of tickets sold for that. There's going to be a private Q&A and a meet and greet. And I'm going to be there answering all your questions and chatting with survivors that want to meet some of us Narc Avengers in person. So I'm really happy to be part of that. November is going to be a pretty awesome and filled up. We're going to have a very fulfilling month. I got my tickets. Get my tickets as soon as I get paid. Yes, guys. Hi, Elle. What's up? It's crazy how they hide their danger, how dangerous they are. You know, a narcissist will, at the very beginning, tell you that they'll protect you. Have you ever heard that narcissist say, "You're safe with me," or make you feel safe? They protect you. How does one person protect another person? We protect ourselves in this world. We protect ourselves in this life. The only time you need protection on something is when they're an object. Do we put insurance on our vehicles? Right? Do we have protection on our phone? Do we buy a protection plan for the TV that we buy at Best Buy or Future Shop? Like, we put protection on objects. A narcissist looks at you like an object, and then they tell you that they will protect you because they own you. They are looking at you like an object. You're a vehicle. You're a car. They want insurance on you. You drive them from point A to point B. Right? But the second you start like making a sound, or you're not performing well, they'll get out of the car and they'll kick you. They'll start kicking that car. You are just an object to a narcissist. The person who says that they are going to protect you will likely be the person who you need protection from. A person who says they're going to protect you is likely a dangerous person. How do we spot dangerous people? How do we spot them? How do we know they're dangerous? Sandra L. Brown really studies this. And in her test, she has personality tests that we can take to determine what type of people we attract and why we attract them, so that we can learn how to protect ourselves, because we don't protect other people. We protect ourselves in this life. Never thought of it like that. I appreciate that insight. Hey, Nate, what's up? Ascendant Samurai, guys. You guys got to go follow him. He's amazing. Any of my mods that you see in here, please follow them as well. I can't see if someone's a mod, so I can't tell. And anybody who has a subscription badge, follow. Let's build this community up. So remember that, okay? We need to learn how to protect ourselves from dangerous people. Narcissists, sociopaths, psychopaths are all dangerous people. Okay? We need to learn how to protect ourselves from dangerous people. Narcissists, sociopaths, psychopaths are all dangerous people. All of them. Even if they're not physically abusive, which, by the way, there's a lot of ways that emotional abuse is physical abuse. So if you've never been hit by a narcissist, but they hit the wall beside you, that is physical abuse because of that intimidation. If a narcissist has never laid their hands on you, but they keep you up at night to fight with you, or wake you up at night, or pull the sheets off of you, take the pillow from under your head while you're sleeping, start accusing you of shit in the middle of the night so that you just succumb to their gaslighting and basically just go, oh, okay, yeah, I guess you're right. That's abuse. That's physical abuse because you're trying to sleep. That affects your body. Hey girl, what's up? Leanne, Dorpy, how's it going? So, we need to protect ourselves from people who are dangerous like this. This is how we do it. Sign up for the webinar. I cannot stress enough how important this is in our lives, especially if you're learning about narcissistic abuse and why you were involved with this person. What about you attracted a person like this, and what about them you were attracted to? Even if it was all in deception. Link in my bio, How to Spot a Dangerous Man. Or sorry, that's her book, but it's called How Could I Have Fallen for a Dangerous Man? And Sandra L. Brown, the author, is going to be interviewed by me and a few other panelists. Is there anywhere you can stay? Oh, is there something happening here? Guys, follow each other and help each other in this community, because there's a lot of people who are in it right now who need help. That was a turning point in my relationship, recognizing that yelling is an act of violence. Exactly. We do not need to yell and scream. We do not need to fight in relationships. I know a lot of people say that fighting is a healthy part of a relationship. No. Communicating and having arguments and disagreements is a healthy part of a relationship. Fighting is control. Yelling, screaming, raising your voice, that's control. Look at all these awesome warriors in Rose Live. Hello, everyone. It's Michelle. Okay, another one of my moderators. Anybody who's a moderator, anyone with a badge, definitely give them a follow, because we're all here to help you. We're all here to give you access to the tools to learn how to step out into the world again and trust yourself, reinvent your self-care, self-love. And that's number 3. So whoever's been sticking around my live for a while, and Richard, hi, I see you, who is sticking around for enough time. When I say that there's 3 ways of healing from narcissistic abuse, I apologize. I don't say all 3 at once. Who is sticking around for enough time. When I say that there's 3 ways of healing from narcissistic abuse, I apologize. I don't say all 3 at once. I split it up in my live, so you kind of have to stick around for like 15-20 minutes at least to hear. So number 1 is community. This is what we're doing here, okay? My monthly groups coaching sessions, part of it. Number 2 is knowledge and education. Webinars, being part of these lives, asking the questions that are really going to give you answers, and not why questions. Why questions get you nowhere. Why did he do that to me? Why did I get in this? The why questions get you nowhere. You start asking what can I do next? How can I heal from this? So asking the right questions, learning about what you went through. Knowledge and education, that's number 2. Number 3 is self-love. And we don't just say we love ourselves. We don't just look in the mirror one day and go, I love you. That shit doesn't work. Love is a verb. Love is the action. A narcissist is really good at saying that they love you. What do they do? We have to pay attention to what they do. Watch what they do. Don't listen to what they say, because they'll tell you they love you. They'll say, oh, you're my soulmate. I think I'm in love with you. I've never felt like this before. And maybe they haven't. I don't know. It's questionable what their feelings are really, because they don't know how to feel feelings. They don't know how to regulate feelings or even have access to label them. So when they say things, they're doing it out of manipulation. They're saying things to sell you a story, to sell you a vision, to sell you a future, fake you a life or a reality that they live in. It's delusional most of the time. So when we say that we love ourselves, what we have to actually do is show ourselves that we love ourselves. Love is a verb. How do we show up in love with ourselves? We have to practice self-care. Any tips keeping up the hope while prepping to leave? It's taking forever. Your exit strategy is a long-term goal. Your exit strategy is something that you have to plan methodically. You can do this with coaching. A coach like me can help you with that. But while you're keeping sane during the planning, because it takes a long time, you practice harm reduction. You learn how to self-love. You do self-care acts. They have to sell it to you so you believe it. You'll never fall for it again. I will never fall for this again. Ever, ever, ever. Boundaries. Yes. Boundaries is self-care. Journaling, that's self-care. Driving. If you want to go for a drive somewhere and go hang out and just listen to the music and just be with yourself, that is self-care. Having this space to put yourself first and really enjoy your freedom is self-care. Boundaries for life. This community has helped me keep sane. Exactly. Stay within community. That will help as well. Self-care is something that we do every day. It's how we put ourselves first. Going no contact with a narcissist is self-care. Anything you do for yourself, because it's the action, right? Love is a verb. It's what we do for ourselves. That's how. Oh, show us your merch. This is the new Rollercoaster of Love shirt. If you guys like it, you can purchase it. Link in my bio. I do have other shirts as well, and hats, and coffee mugs and tumblers. And hoodies. Everybody loves a good hoodie, especially when it's snowing. Unapologetic boundaries. The thing with boundaries is you don't have to share them with anyone. Boundaries are for you. Your boundaries are your standard. That is who you allow in your life and what kind of shit you'll put up with. That is your boundary. For me, I do not allow liars in my life. The second I realize or figure out that you've lied, you're out of my life. You don't have access to this nightclub. And I've used this analogy before. We're a nightclub. We are Studio 54. And us, as the nightclub, our bouncers are like, no, this guy ain't coming in. He's a liar. Not happening. No access to Studio 54. Only honest people come in here. Only generous people are allowed here. Only authentic people are allowed here, right? You're not any of those things. And the second you realize that somebody doesn't fit the standards of your life, those are your boundaries. This is the bouncer saying, no, this person doesn't have this. They don't have access to you. Michelle actually brought me this analogy last month. You were saying, Michelle, about how Ferrari doesn't even let just a bum off the street test drive it. You have to have some sort of caliber to be able to even test drive a Ferrari. So why are we letting these dangerous men test drive us without even knowing who the fuck they are? Sure, they can pretend, but show us some proof. Show us some proof. The proof is in the pudding. Where's the actions? Show me you're a generous person. Show me that you love me. Get to know me first before you say you love me and I'm your soulmate, right? So this is what we need to do. We need to be discerning. We need to trust ourselves, and we need to know what our boundaries are and what our standards are before we let anybody into our life. How could we have fallen for dangerous men? How could we have fallen for dangerous people? This is what we're going to learn. Webinar, November 10th. Tickets are in the link in my bio. It's $25, and immediately after the webinar, and even if you can't attend it, you will still be able to view it, because immediately after the webinar, you get a recording emailed to you. Okay? Sandra L. Brown is going to be the guest that will be interviewed at this webinar. I will be a panelist on the webinar as well, and she wrote 2 books she wrote many books, but the 2 of them that are going to be specifically related to this is How to Spot a Dangerous Man and Women Who Love Psychopaths. These are the 2 books that I would urge you to read. They will basically be your guide. This is your self-defense course on how to protect your emotional safety. And you can ask her as many questions as you want as well. There will be a Q&A. So I appreciate you all so much. I do have to go pick up my daughter now, so I'm going to go do that. If you do want to work with me one-on-one, I do have availability in November. You can go to the link in my bio and book a coaching session. I do 30-minute and 60-minute sessions. I also have group coaching. This is done monthly. The next one coming up is November 27th. If you want to meet me in Toronto, go to narcavengers.com and book your ticket for the meet and greet for November 19th. If you can come to Toronto, Canada. Me and 5 other Narc Avengers are going to be at the Drake Hotel doing a meet and greet. So Lee Hammock, Mental Healness, Self-Aware Narcissist. Lisa Sani, Stronger Than Before. KP Stratman, which is KP Stratman. And Jules, Hearts with Jules, and myself are all going to be at this event, meeting you, answering any questions, and doing a private Q&A. And there is going to be a signature drink as well. Oh, and Carrie McAvoy, PhD, will be at that one as well. If I had a passport, I'd be totally there. I feel that. Get a passport, girl. I need to meet you. I'll come to the States at some point and do the next meet and greet wherever we have it. We're thinking New York City. That's kind of like one of the next places that we'll go. But I love you all. Thank you for being here. And remember, I'll leave you with this. Every day on the side of freedom is so much sweeter. Even your worst day on the side of freedom will be far better than the best day you ever had with that narcissist. I promise you. Stay narc free, guys. Bye.